My father was a very wonderful person. People have different perceptions of his personality.
Papa was very gentle. He was very strict, very firm. And I also want to see him as a gentle giant.
He did all he could as a father to see that we were all comfortable, even when it was beyond his capacity.
I would see that we get everything we need in terms of our education, in terms of our schools, before he eats. You know, Papa was ready to sacrifice all for us to go to school.
My father-in-law, Chief Paul Oyem, can be described as a man of discipline. That's my summary. He was a disciplinarian and a very straightforward man. He was a truthful man.
Very nice person, a peace-loving person. One good thing I like about him, every time you call him, anytime I call him on the phone, he will ask about my mother, my brothers, my sisters. He must ask about every person before you people can begin to discuss. He's just a very caring person. He cares for everybody around him.
Outwardly, people will see him as, that man firm, that man strong. But in the house, he always related to us like peers, one of us. So he was our friend, he was our father.
Us at home, we know him as a very gentle man, an amiable person, a peace lover, and a great dad, a great father.
My father is 100% a father.
He liked groove. Papa liked groove. He was a very sociable person. He belonged to a few social groups. My dad was not a prayer warrior, but in his own little way, he took Christianity, he took his religion very seriously. And his children, I remember when we were growing up, if you didn't go to church, you were in trouble. So on Sundays, it's like marking your register, because then he wasn't living with us together because his job took him out of where we were. So when he comes home and he'd be like, who and who did not go to church? It's like he had a register for all of us. You must go to church. And apart from going to church, you must participate fully in everything they were doing in church. So my dad was not a prayer warrior, but he believed so much in the faith, especially the Catholic faith.
Papa, he calls me to pray. He tells the Lord to watch over me. Oh, my Papa, he can't like to say, as you go away, don't forget where you came.
Very shy child. And then this Friday, because then we were in Kaduna, this Friday, primary session, secondary session, and nursery session, they closed together, 12:30. So the school was very busy. And I didn't know that there was an oncoming vehicle. I'm trying to cross the road to go and enter the bus, and I was hit by this vehicle. They took me home. Incidentally, my dad was on leave that period. When we got home that day, my dad was helping, my mom was cooking. Two of them sat down and he was helping her do one or two things while she was cooking. And immediately he saw me, he got up. Didn't even say anything to the person who brought me, and by himself put on his clothes and took me to the hospital. After that, it wasn't a fracture, but I couldn't use my left hand. So my dad was the one always, helping me to take a bath, helping me to wash my uniform when I come back from school. Just seeing to it that I didn't really miss the lack of use of my left arm. My dad was not perfect, but he was a very lovable, very kind man.
About 10 years ago or so, it was actually fun. We used to have this culture of celebrating our Christmas together as a family, our parents, all my siblings, wherever we are, we all meet at the village, you know. And this very year, it was really fun as usual. Papa joined us in, for the first time, joined us in throwing knockouts. It was really interesting, you know. Papa was throwing knockouts and you know, we're all shouting and playing and dancing.
I always long to see him come back from his work. Most times he's not always with us. And when we see him on 24th or 23rd coming back, we're all very happy because we have goats to kill together. We grew up to see him buy us goats and then kill them himself. And we loved to see him select those parts like the chest, which he loved so much, and it gives us so much joy to see him relish those parts while our mom was cooking. They were very, very fond memories. What about the memory of when I was ill and my dad left his job to come and stay with me and prayed for me in the hospital? I will never forget that. I came out of unconsciousness to see him sitting by my bedside with the rosary in his hands praying for me. And I know that our Mother Mary interceded, and that's why I'm still here today. One of the reasons why I'm still here today.
So now, another event I remember fondly was when the dream team of Nigeria won the 1996 Olympics. We were waiting anxiously for the final whistle. And as soon as that whistle came, we both sprang up from our seats and embraced each other, jumping and shouting like two little children. And till date, I still remember that very fondly. Dad loved football and supported Nigeria till death.
This Xmas, or was it on a New Year Day, I traveled to Kwale to see him with my friends. My friends came along around, and we sat outside and we were gisting. He was telling us about his life experiences, and my friends were like, wow, we have an awesome father-in-law, a nice man, very fun to be with.
The first day I stepped into his house in Abo, he embraced me as a son. That I can never forget. He welcomed me so much. When I was going there with my friend, the very first day I was invited, I was somehow fidgeting, but when I got there, it was a different ballgame. I was welcomed, and till he passed on, he has always treated me like a son.
I will never forget the integrity you had in you. I will never forget the morals you taught me as a child. I will never forget your gentility when you were with us, and the oneness, the togetherness you always longed us to have. And that I have promised to impart on my own children.
Your legacy lives on, and the great deeds and seeds you planted in us are yielding bountiful fruits. Everyone testifies about them. And I would not mourn your exit, because I know you are better off where you are today. And it shows, even when I see you now, you glow, and this happiness comes within me, giving me the courage that you are better off where you are.
A week before you died, you asked me to come drive with you in your car. You know, you took me to the point where my business vehicle broke down. You know, I enjoyed that. I mean, that ride with you. I will always want you to drive me again, because I know you, despite the age, despite the ill health, you were strong. You know, you're a fighter. You don't just give up. I mean, I will always want to be with you and be by your side.
For me, it's very painful he left me at this time. I was expecting he will live longer to enjoy the fruit of his labor, because he really labored. I would have loved to have him more. I really miss him. He has created a vacuum. I don't have a father. He used to be my father. He is my father. I will truly miss him.
You will continue to live in our hearts. Thank you for imparting so much. Thank you for all that you taught us. May God continue to keep you with him.
Live on in our hearts, Papa. I love you.
Live on in our hearts.
Live on in our hearts, Daddy.
Rest on, Dad. Continue to live in our hearts.
Words are honestly not enough to appreciate people who have stood by us in the years, in the weeks, and in the days past. I want to really appreciate you, or to tell you that what you have done can only be repaid by the Creator. And I pray that He meets each and every one of you at the points of your needs. We cannot, the only thing we can do is to pray for God to bless you, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. God bless you all. I will not mourn, even if sometimes I break down and cry. Yes, I only cry because I miss your physical presence. But I know that you are in a better place. At least those pains, those discomforts are no longer there. And I know that you live on in our hearts, because legends never die, and you are a legend.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh,